And good morning, everyone. This is the Morning Blitz Sports Talk. I am your host, AJ, and we are here to discuss everything that just recently happened, scores in the NFL Week 1, and then we're going to have a discussion about tonight's Monday night game between the Bears and the Vikings and J.J. McCarthy's debut as the starting QB of the Minnesota Vikings. What's good, Mitch? Thank you for tuning in. Let's get into this right now. We're gonna go and I'm gonna go and show you the scores for week 1, and then we're gonna go from there. And let's see, where are we here? Um, that does not help me. Hold on, I'm trying to. Yeah, let's just do it like that and make it a whole separate thing. So I am going to. Why does it do that? Ugh. Yeah, whatever. All right, so let me go right into this. Let me go over the scores for week 1. So, first and foremost, let's go to the opening game, which was the Cowboys and the Eagles. September 4th, Thursday night game. Eagles won 24, Cowboys 20. Good showing. Next game was on the Friday, was the following day. It was the Chargers with the Chiefs, with Chargers upsetting the Chiefs. I did not have the Chargers upsetting the Chiefs, if I remember. The Colts, in a dominant fashion, steamrolled the Miami Dolphins 33-8 on Sunday. The Steelers barely squeaked by the New York Jets 34-32. Jaguars beat the Panthers 26-10. Cardinals by only a touchdown beat the Saints 20-13. The Commanders slapped the living dog shit out of the Giants 21-6. Buccaneers squeezed through by a field goal 23-20 over the Falcons. By 1 point, the Bengals beat the Browns by 1 point, 17-16. The Patriots lost 7 points to the Raiders, 20-13. 49ers beat the Seahawks by 4 points, 17-13. The Broncos beat the Titans by 8 points, 20-12. The Packers impressively beat the Lions 27-13. The Rams beat the Texans 14-9. And what really hurts me, Sunday night game, the Bills came back to beat the Ravens 41-40. My heart is broken for all the Baltimore Raven fans. We had that game in the bag. This, I guess, was not our night. But that is fine. The Ravens will rebound. That's a little biased right there because I am a Ravens fan. Tonight, Monday Night Football, 8:15, will be between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. I have the Vikings winning. However, let's not kid ourselves. Let's not kid ourselves one bit. There could be, and there's a possibility, a very slim chance that the Bears may come to play tonight against the Minnesota Vikings and upset the Vikings, and then throw everyone's betting way off. But can J.J. McCarthy be the quarterback that the Vikings drafted? Can the quarterback whisperer Kevin O'Connell make J.J. McCarthy look like the next Tom Brady? Who knows? We'll know once Monday Night Football starts and who really is going to hash it out. So when I was looking at the scores and I saw what happened with the Miami Dolphins and the Colts, I don't know about you guys. I don't know how anyone feels about that game. I know the Colts. I know all Indianapolis. I know all Miami Dolphin fans are currently right now crying themselves to sleep last night due to the beating they endured from the Colts. If you really go tell me that the Indianapolis Colts, what I think Jalen Jones was the starter, wasn't like march right in, kick the living dog shit out of you, I probably wouldn't believe it. And I'm still in complete bafflement of that game. I was not expecting it. at one. Not one bit. It's a very weird situation as a sports fan to see such a early like a early beaten immense. So here it is. In these so the Colts decision QB decision looks like is the right one right now. They are certainly tougher tests ahead, but I think Daniel Jones looked capable this past Sunday to compete for the AFC South in 2025. Although he had a few classic misfires and he opened himself up to danger on a scramble, which I don't know why he decided to do that, but Jones kept those negatives to a minimum. He made the least mistakes, correct some reads, and consistently took what was there. But he also dialed up some high difficulty dots. He dissected Miami's defense to throw for 272 yards and a touchdown on 22 of 29 passing and scored twice more on QB sneaks at the goal line. He showed particularly good chemistry with Michael Pittman, connecting with him 6 times for 80 yards, including a 27-yard touchdown on a beautiful Pittman double move. And the rookie quarterback, Tyler Warren, who had 7 receptions for 76 yards. Even with an average outing from the running back, Jonathan Taylor, 18 carries for 71 yards, the Colts offense just was scoring points on all 7 of their possessions. So far, Daniel Jones is once again Danny Dimes. On another note, just bad mojo in Miami after dealing with injuries to stars players such as Devon Akin, Tyreek Hill during the preseason, and essentially being inundated with options regarding the team's culture and practice habits. The Dolphins did little to start rewriting the narrative. Tua looked particularly lost, not surprised with the history of concussions. Was his quick processing replaced by missed throws and putting the ball in harm's way? He was responsible for 3 turnovers. Miami's offense seemed to be missing someone like tight end Geno Smith, who the team traded away in July. Miami's defense seemed to be missing someone like cornerback Jalen Ramsey, gone in the same trade. Indianapolis did essentially whatever it wanted all day as the Colts pass catchers came open at will, and Miami allowed conversions on each of its opponents' 3 to 4th down tries. The Dolphins were torched head-to-head in the first down department at 12 to 27 yards, 211 to 418, and time possession was 21 to 17 to 38 to 30 to 43. And even though those lopsided numbers look better due to the garbage time, Miami might already need to press the panic button. Do I agree with that? Yes. Yeah. Miami's going to be a hot fire dumpster. Everyone right now wants to call the New York Jets dumpster fire. It's going to be Miami this season. Miami's the dumpster fire, people. They essentially swap places this season. It's absolutely weird. The Colts found a gem. A cast out from Cincinnati after 6 years. Defensive coordinator Lou Ronaldo put together a game plan for Indianapolis that was night and day from how his Bengals D performed in 2024. The Dolphins hardly had room to breathe. They didn't eclipse 100 total yards until 39 minutes into regulation. Already trailing 23-9, the defensive coordinator cooked up pressure with unique passages on key players and mixed up looks to keep Miami off balance. Multiple defensive backs had sacks, with Kenny Moore forcing a fumble that was recovered by longtime former Dolphin Xavier Howard, and Nick Cross leveling Tua after tearing around the edge untouched. Edge rushers Latua dropped back into coverage and picked off a pass as well. It felt like everyone on the Colts defense made a play at some point, which resulted in a blow-up victory to kick off this defensive coordinator standard in Miami. I mean, in Indianapolis. Let me remind you something. They essentially open up the buffet for the Colts defense. That's what happened. It was absolutely a massacre for the Miami Dolphins. They had dolphin steaks for lunch that afternoon. Let's go to the Carolina Panthers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars won 26-10. Is Trevor Lawrence finally out of the vortex of the shitty Jacksonville era? Oh, it's essentially on the right foot at this moment. 1 hour, 16-minute lightning delay made Liam Cohen's first game a bit disjointed, but Jacksonville looked much better coached on both sides of the ball than we've seen in the past few seasons. Jaguars score on the 4 of their first 5 possessions to run away from Carolina. It was a learning day for Trevor Lawrence as he got comfortable in a new offense. At times, he zipped darts, favoring tight end Brenton Strange early. However, Lawrence missed a host of balls and wasn't on the same page with Brian Thompson Jr. Jaguars' running game, however, carried the load. The running back Travis Etienne entered the season with questions about his role. They were answered in week 1. Paced the Jags with 16 carries for 143 yards, including a 71-yard blast that helped blow the game open. No other runner had more than 5 carries. It was against a stillborn Panthers run defense, if anything, but it displayed breakaway speed and a more tackle breaking ability between the hashes than we've seen from him than last season. Generated 109 yards on 9 carries on inside rush attempts, where he recorded a career best plus 66 rushing yards over expected. He fits Cohen's offense like a freaking glove. However, Bryce Young of the Carolina has struggled in his season debut. Built off his good end to 2024, looking similar to how he started last season, riding the struggle bus. The Panthers QB missed a host of throws high, sometimes wide. Young turned the ball over 3 times, including 2 interceptions with the offensive line that struggled to keep him clean. The man was dirty because of that offensive line. Outside of McKinnon, 5 receptions for 68 yards, who looked solid in his debut, no player had more than 32 yards. No other wide receiver had more than 11 yards. Young looked rattled for stretches and never settled. His last pass on the day was a tad high to running back Rico Dowell, which bounded off the running back's hands for an interception. The play symbolizes Young's forgettable day. Carolina is now 0-8 with Young as the starting QB when the team has minus 2 minutes or worse turnover divisional. Jaguars are adding secondary playmaking ability with big hits. Corners Jordan Lewis and safety Eric Moray looked like money well spent this offseason. Lewis played sticky coverage, generating 3 defense, intercepting Young's final pass and recovered a fumble. He also had a QB hit. Moray laid the wood several times while generating 2 passes, defensed, and a QB hit. The Jags secondary was an issue last season, but the additions of Lewis and Moray stabilized the crew at least for 1 week. We'll see if this holds up, or will a trend they face, because they're facing the trio of Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins next week. Can the Jaguars continue this high octane performance they had in week 1? Next game, Las Vegas Raiders versus the New England Patriots. Raiders won 20-13 in the Tom Brady ownership era with Mark Davis. Geno Smith hits it big, but their second season tight end got hit again and hurt was another story. So his Raiders debut, Geno Smith, couldn't have gone a lot better. Could have gone a little bit better, but he led the team down to a fast touchdown, overcame a first half interception to wipe out the Patriots on the road. The Patriots sacked him 4 times, and the protection has to get better, but sacked him about 4 times, and the protection it has sacked him 4 times. Smith fought through that and an injury to Brock Burrows. Burrows was the offensive star before leaving the game with a left knee injury. But Jacoby Myers and Tucker both made good contributions. Last year's Raiders only won 2 away from home. So Pete Carroll had to be happy with how his first season in Las Vegas started. Ashton Gentry was held in check, but was good in short yardage, pinballing for a touchdown run and converting a key 3rd and short late. There's hope for more balance offensively the next time out. And they've got to sort out the pass protection, because if not, the Raiders are going to freaking get killed, and that the defense is going to have a very hard time keeping the Raiders into games. Drake May struggled to convert. It was rainy. It was a rainy day in Foxborough. The Patriots offense had some early momentum, leading 10-7, but at halftime, the second half was very disappointing. Drake May was up and down with interceptions, missed open receivers. The Russian attack was mostly held in check, too, and the Patriots had trouble protecting May at times. Rookie left tackle Will Campbell had a rough fourth quarter, allowing a strip sack on May and commanded a brutal false start. The Patriots were going for it on 4th and 5th with just under 5 minutes left, down 20-10, but Campbell's penalty convinced Mike Vrabel to punt. The Patriots kicked a field goal late. Never really got themselves a chance to win. The opening effort was a strong one, especially in the second half. The Patriots found a little first half rhythm throwing the ball, but Cosby, Wilson, and Malcolm all racked up the pressure around May. The coverage was good, too. With Isaiah Palomino earning a game shift and interception after May was pressured by Crosby. The Raiders lost Roberts to a first half elbow injury, but buckled down and nearly pitched a second half shutout. Impressive stuff all around from the Raiders. Well, let's see if this will continue. Another game. Arizona Cardinals versus New Orleans Saints. Cardinals won 20-13. I did not see this happening. It was very interesting. So it was dynamic powers of the Cardinals offense. Carl Murray at times was unstoppable against veteran-led Saints defense, effectively utilizing his legs, right arm in a performance that brings back memories of an MVP-level stretch he displayed in 2021. Arizona's star quarterback went 21 of 29 passing for 163 yards and 2 touchdowns to lead an offense that scored points on 4 of its first 5 drives. It's not to say Murray wasn't under distress either, with New Orleans breathing down his neck all afternoon to turn of 5 sacks and 10 pressures and 38 dropbacks. Murray avoided a few sacks with his legs and scrambled for 38 yards, but his efficient passing highlighted the day. Marvin Harris Jr. hauled in his deepest completion on a 45-yard dime and later scored a 1-yard pass during Arizona's first scoring drive. McBride, 6 receptions, 61 yards, was Murray's most reliable target, especially in third down situations. His best throw came on a wonderful design pass play to running back James Conner, where he underhanded spiraled for an easy score. While the Cardinals spurred down the stretch offensively, scoring just 3 points, field goal. The second field goal attempt was blocked. Murray begins his 2025 campaign like a playmaking QB who can have Arizona complete in an ambitious situation for the NFC West. The young rattler holding back Saints old guard. All right, here it is. New Orleans Saints mainstays Alvin, Cameron Jordan, Kyle DeMario Davis were their usual selves, reliable, making plays to keep the Superdome jumping, and the Saints in range of capturing Kellen Moore's first win as coach. Spencer Rattler's play, revealingly mistake-free, but noticeably unspectacular, ultimately preventing an upset. However, the second-year QB took a few chances down the field and gave up on his reads when he felt the pressure, finishing 27 of 46 passing, 214 yards with 0 TDs or interceptions. Many of those incompletions were either off the mark or thrown that put receivers in position of getting wheeled on by the Saints. By the Cardinals Steel defenders, excuse me. The Saints defense, led by Jordan, who became the franchise all-time sack leader on Sunday with 1.5 sacks to reach 123, stood tall in the second half to give Rattler a chance at a game-winning drive in the final frame. He fired a nice pass to Juwan Johnson in the end zone with seconds remaining, but like several incidents before, the tight end could not hang on. Butler Baker disrupted him with a well-timed hit. New Orleans offense was one-dimensional with Kamala bottle up after the star running back scored game's first TD, and Rattler wasn't enough to keep the threat of Arizona at bay. Arizona's rookie, Will Johnson, appeared on only 51.1% of the defensive snaps, but his presence was clearly felt. The second-round pick did a great job keeping the defense for the Cardinals intact against the game against the Saints and forcing the Saints to do a lot of things that they were not comfortably doing. And even a perfect time hit on the wide receiver Chris Orwell in the fourth quarter really sealed the deal for the Cardinals winning that game. Let's go into the scores now. I'm not going to go and break down every single thing because that would put me here forever. Pittsburgh Steelers versus New York Jets. Steelers won by 2, 34-32, which was Aaron Rodgers' revenge game against the Jets. And then, of course, Justin Fields did not have his revenge. He did a really good against the Steelers and proved that he should have been the starter, had some flashes, but then unfortunately fell short towards the end. And then Jalen Ramsey finally was on a team that had a really good defense and aided in the cement of the victory against the Jets. Washington Commanders 21, Giants 6. Where do I go with this? We already know Jalen Daniels, Debo Samuel, and anyone else for the goddamn Commanders was red hot all game. Winston's offense was stuck in neutral. They just weren't going anywhere. Little bit of flashes here and there, but not much to get them out of the problem they got in. And the Commanders' defense was incredibly scary. I don't see anyone really stopping the Commanders anytime soon. And that's just the way I feel. The Broncos won 20-12 against the Tennessee Titans. Bo Nix is proven to be the right decision for Shane Payton, the head coach, Payton's regime. The 49ers won 17-13 over the Seahawks. Sam Darnold did all right. Sam Darnold doing Sam Darnold things. That's all I can really say. Packers defeated the Detroit Lions, losing those two coordinators to become head coaches and camp team. All that hard work that man put in, now it seems like he's back to square one. And that's all I have to say from that. Let's see. Los Angeles Rams 14, Texans 9. Not a good outing for CJ Stroud. Yeah, I think this is the season that the Texans are going to struggle a lot this year. And by the way, the Rams struggled a little bit too. Matthew Stafford's still struggling from a back injury, and I'm surprised he managed to turn out and play. And of course, the Sunday night game, which I dread to talk about, how the Ravens blown that because of that fumble, which caused the Bills to come back and win the game 41-40. I will talk about this a little bit. Was it bad play calling? No. Was it some really bad decision making? Yes. I watched the whole game from start to finish. Everyone's like, "Oh, Josh Allen did it. He's MVP." No. MVP means he carried the team on his back and fixed any problem. If it wasn't for Derrick Henry fumbling that ball in the fourth quarter, Josh Allen would never got that ball back. So no, MVP was the Bills' defense. Let's scratch that crap out. Josh Allen didn't do anything too predictably great. Okay, the Ravens were shutting that team down for basically 3 quarters straight before they fucking started making mistakes and got a little bit too cocky. I hate this narrative that everyone's like, Josh Allen put it. No, he didn't. His defense took Josh Allen's offense and put it on their fucking back. Let's not play. Other noticeable problems I have about this game is that costly fumble. Derrick Henry has this habit. Once he gets comfortable, he puts his ball security awareness and he drops it, which ultimately costs the fumble, which ultimately costs him the fucking game. I'm going to swear a bit, and I apologize for this. But these are crucial mistakes that I thought were fixed during the offseason with this team. And obviously, it wears its ugly head once again in a big game that could have decided the first seed in the AFC when playoff time comes. So right now, Buffalo holds that tiebreaker unless magically Buffalo just sucks for the rest of the season and Baltimore magically goes on the win streak. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that their schedules are absolutely bonkers. The Ravens have the toughest stretch in the first 6 games. In scheduling purposes, okay? So let me pop open this real quick. I'm going to go and read the schedule for the first 6 games of their schedule. All right? And let's have an honest conversation about this, okay? They're playing against not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, 6 playoff teams until leading into their bye week. Okay? Week 1 Bills, week 2 Browns. Well, okay. Yeah, Browns. They're playing against the Browns, did really shitty. Lions are in the recovery mode. Chiefs got their ass kicked by the Chargers. And then the Texans lost to the Rams. So right now, the way week 1 went, they should win these games. However, every single team that's on the schedule went to the playoffs. I think the Browns were the only ones that didn't. Okay? So let's go look at the Bills' schedule. I actually want to kind of compare this because they're really, like, the bottom of my heart, I want to make sure that I'm not, like, losing my shit over nothing, I'm pretty sure Buffalo has slightly either a much easier schedule or it's about the same difficulty-wise. But I'm going to go double-check because, that's just who I am, Oh, yeah. They essentially have a much easier schedule. Like, this is laughable. Okay? They play the Jets, week 2. Dolphins, week 3. What is this shit? The Saints, week 4. Patriots, week 5. And then the Falcons, week 6. Then a bye. This is a joke. There is no real competition for the Bills. They're going to easily go into the bye week 6-0 because the NFL can't fucking... And they were a playoff team. They weren't a shitty team. Like, I don't know who fucking does the scheduling. Monkeys with top hats, maybe. But this is absolutely hot garbage. Any fucking NFL team would absolutely hate this. Like, every team, I think if you're a playoff team, your schedule should be neutrally tougher than the lower team that had a losing record. There's no fucking balance in scheduling whatsoever. Well, with that being said, I'm going to go. Monday night game is the Bears and the Vikings. So next Monday, I'll give you my thoughts about it, as well as week 2 scores, and then, do another preview for that, the following Monday night's game. Until then, you guys have a great day. This is AJ from the Morning Blitz Sports Talk, only on Hardcore Sports Network. You guys have a great one.